The Michigan Wolverines just hit the mother lode of good news. Let's talk about it. My name's Paul. Together with my buddy Aaron, we are the Big Ten guys. Tune in daily for news, insights, analysis, anything you could ever want Big Ten. This is the channel for you. So please take just a quick second, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, get alerts on even. You don't want to miss all the Michigan and Big Ten content we got coming. So this is your first time catching the show. I'm a big Michigan fan. Aaron's a big Michigan State fan, but he's not here today. He can't keep me in check. We're talking Michigan football, and there is just so much good news to talk about in the program right now. So let's get right into it. Start with my boy Jordan Marshall talking about the Michigan offense. Says, last year it wasn't like this. This year's offense is scary. They're hitting big plays. The quarterbacks look so much better. And as Michigan fans, we absolutely love to hear this. Sadly, every single team in the country last year, including the service academies, who pass it like 2 times a game, completed a 40-yard pass. And Michigan didn't. Like, if you watched any of Michigan football last year, it was pretty easy to see, this is a team who is going to run the football and can complete a pass within 5 yards, and that's it. And it just limited the ceiling of what they could do. And even with that, even with a quarterback who can't throw the ball downfield, they beat Ohio State. They beat Alabama. And now this year, I think we're going to see the maize and blue even better. Because when you can throw the ball downfield, I still think, especially with Justice Haynes coming in and how good Jordan Marshall is, all the talk is that the O-line is going to be so much better this year. This is still going to be a smash mouth running football team, but you can't stack the box against them if Mikey Keene or Bryce Underwood can hit you over the top. And I think that is going to be huge for the Michigan running game this year. Now, we still don't know who the quarterback is. Sharon Moore is playing it pretty close to the chest. He refuses to name who the starter is. But if you just hear the guys at camp talk about the quarterbacks, I think we all know it's going to be Bryce Underwood. He is just so talented. All you hear is man, this guy's like prime Cam Newton or Vince Young as a 17-year-old. He's that big and strong. He's that fast. There's no way you can keep him off the field. Everything that I'm hearing from camp is that he is the real deal and is going to be everything that Michigan fans wanted and more. Still, it wouldn't surprise me if week 1 against New Mexico, I haven't seen yet if Sharon Moore is going to do this, but I know Harbaugh always loved to drag this quarterback decision as long into the season as he could. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Mikey Keene even start against New Mexico and then have Bryce Underwood coming in. But I think by the time you get to that big game week 2 against Oklahoma, this is Bryce Underwood's team. He's going to raise that ceiling higher than Mikey Keene can. And this offense is just going to be so much better than last year. Because not only, we all know, whether it's Bryce, whether it's Mikey, the quarterback position is going to be infinitely better, but the receivers are going to be better this year. It sounds like Donovan McCulley looks like the real deal. They gave him the number 1 jersey. Sounds like Samaj has been having a pretty good camp. There's just a lot more depth at receiver this year. And I know it stinks to lose Colston Loveland, but I think there's been a lot of good talk about Marlon Klein and Hogan Hansen, and I think they're not going to be Colston Loveland this year, but I think the two of them together can be close enough that with the better receivers, the better O-line, and the way better quarterback, this is just going to be a different Michigan offense. Now, moving into recruiting news, the Michigan football Twitter page, or X page, sorry Elon Musk if you're watching this, posted this. And if you have followed Sharon Moore or Michigan football's Twitter at all, you see a pattern. Sharon Moore will tweet his yes sir, he'll tweet his eyeballs emoji, and then the next week some big recruit commits. Now, Sharon Moore is locked in. He hasn't been tweeting. So Michigan football decided to step in. And they didn't just post one of them. They posted, I don't even know how many are in there. But it makes me wonder, is one bit of good news coming, or are multiple pieces of good news coming on the recruiting front? Some possibilities. This is my hope, is Seavon Haid. Dude is the number one running back in the country coming into next year. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go to Michigan. You know, you see Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Khalil Mullings. This year it's going to be Jordan Marshall. It's going to be Justice Haynes. It doesn't matter who you are at Michigan. They're going to turn you into a star, and he is the most talented of any of these guys. An interesting bit of information. So he is going to announce his commitment. I think it's August 19th. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what I do know is he's announcing it the day of Bryce Underwood's birthday. Now, Underwood has been trying to recruit him. It sounds like it's either going to be Michigan or Tennessee. A lot of people, I don't think anyone's officially logged like an official prediction for Michigan. But I think most people probably see it as like 60% Michigan, 40% Tennessee. I don't know why you'd want to go to the Tennessee Volunteers. They're every year going to get their hopes up and lose on the big stage. Like, do you want to go to the school who beats Ohio State even in their down years? Or do you want to go to the school who just gets pantsed on the national stage by Ohio State? Pretty easy decision to me. I'm coming to Michigan. I might be a little biased as a Michigan fan, but I don't think so. So I'm hoping that Michigan's tweet was about Seavon Haid, but it also could be about Peter Bourke. Obviously, Bryce is the future, but you got to just keep stacking commits. Who's going to be the QB after Bryce Underwood leaves? He's probably only going to be here 3 years. A lot of people think Peter Bourke could be that guy, and Steve Wiltfong, who's one of the bests, has officially placed a prediction on Michigan to land him. So it wouldn't surprise me if that is what the Michigan football page is tweeting about. And you know what? Maybe it's both, because that was a lot of different Sharon Moore, yes sir, go blue, eyeball emoji tweets combined into one. So I'd love for it to be multiple pieces of good news on the recruiting front. But either way, the future is bright for Michigan, and the present is bright. Like, looking at this year's schedule, New Mexico, easy win. Oklahoma, that's going to be tough on the road, but they only went 6-7 last year. I know they are bringing in that QB from Washington State, who should be pretty good, but I like Michigan to win that one. They're going to roll Central, unless, maybe Central sneaks Connor Stallions onto the sidelines again. That could, I guess they have the ear sets now, so don't even worry about that. Nebraska on the road is tough, same with USC, but I think if Bryce is everything we think he's going to be and the offense takes the next step, I think Michigan is perfect. Like, they really don't have a top 15 team even on the schedule until they get to Ohio State, and we all know what's going to be happening when we play Ohio State. Like, Michigan could make the playoffs this year. We know the defense is going to be elite. Everything we're hearing out of camp is Derek Moore is going to be the new star D lineman. The linebackers look amazing. I've heard TJ Metcalf looks like an absolute stud. They're going to be good at all three levels of the defense. Wink Martindale's probably the best defensive coordinator in college football. They were missing a bunch of their best players against Bama, and he absolutely shut them down. Ohio State dropped like 50 on everybody in the playoffs, but they couldn't do squat on Wink's defense. This is going to be a top 5 unit in the country again, and if what we're hearing out of camp about this offense being more explosive is true, this is going to be, Michigan will be a force to be reckoned with in college football. And I think they easily could be a playoff team. And then with all the great recruiting news, you just know they're just going to keep pumping out star players. The future is bright in Ann Arbor. The present is bright in Ann Arbor. And as a Michigan fan, I'm super excited about it. So, Wolverine fans, let me hear from you. Who's a player you're excited for this year? What do you think that Michigan tweets about? Who's the big recruit that they're going to be getting to commit soon? What games on their schedule do you think they could struggle with or trip up? Give me record predictions. Give me player predictions. Hit me up in the comments, and we will see you with some more Michigan and Big Ten content. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Get alerts on, and we'll catch you next time.